Dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you all to hear and see this video message. In this video, I am going to explain hypocrisy of United States of America about Christians' attacks in India. Content for this video I given in the description. You can go through and study. In the 1980s and 90s, US policies towards China were driven by business interest. When the Tiananmen Square massacre happened, America sided with the business lobby. The US policy then was decided by pro-Chinese regime with a false hope that China would change one day. America argued that any action to upset the Chinese leaders could hurt the pocketbooks of the American people. Right about that time, America needed the cooperation of a military regime in Pakistan for its strategic interest in Afghanistan. America was more than willing to ignore the cherished principles to please a dictatorship and stood idly by witnessing the epic slide of Pakistan into becoming a radical state. The radicalization of Pakistan was taking place at the cost of the lives of the Christians, Hindus and Ahmadis there in broad daylight. In Washington, diplomats and political leaders argued that America was in Pakistan only because of our strategic interest and not to police them or to tell them how to run their country. As a result, America's long-term security interest as well as its business interest have suffered both in China and in Pakistan. While Pakistan is permanently lost to being a much-needed American ally, China has become enemy number one. In fact, China flush with American dollars is threatening the global order and America's primacy. Now, successive American administrations are again making a wrong choice in India. America seems to be ignoring India's epic slide into a radical religious state in recent years as Hindu nationalism is gripping the lives of millions of people. Hindu nationalism is taking India down the same path the Islamist parties did in Pakistan to that country during the 80s and 90s. The US administration's current focus on turning a blind eye to religious violence in India for short-term gains will come at the expense of America's long-term interest in the region. USCIRF has recommended the US Department of State designate India as a country of particular concern or CBC each year since 2020 for engaging in systematic, ongoing and egregious violation of religious freedom and again most recently in its 2023 annual report. The US government tends to view human rights issue as a secondary or tertiary to security and trade concerns. US cannot have a trade and security partner who is committing mass atrocities that makes an inherently unstable partner. Today, many powerful and democratic nations who present themselves as protectors of human rights around the world are refraining from condemning crimes against religious minorities in India because they see India as an important strategically ally against China or a major trade market that they rather not anger. The European Union and the United States policymakers need to stop viewing India primarily as a counterweight to China. The emphasis on this dynamic leaves underlying problems for India undiscussed, undisclosed and uncriticized. Bible talks about hypocrisy of Western countries. In Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 15, I thought about all the people who live in this world and I realized that somewhere among them there is a young man who will take the king's place.